King Louis XIV reigned for an astonishing 72 years, making him the longest-serving monarch in history, far surpassing Queen Elizabeth II. Born in 1638, Louis ascended the throne at just 4 years old, thrust into a world of power and responsibility. His reign began under the regency of his mother, Anne of Austria, and Cardinal Mazarin, but it was Louis who would eventually seize absolute control, famously declaring, "L'État, c'est moi, I am the state." Louis XIV's rule was not just about longevity but also transformation. He moved the French court from Paris to the lavish palace of Versailles, a symbol of his absolute power and the pinnacle of French opulence. Versailles became the center of political life in France, where Louis could keep a watchful eye on the nobility, ensuring their loyalty. The Sun King, as he was known, revolutionized the arts, patronizing artists and musicians, which led to a golden age of French culture. Under his reign, France became a dominant European power, with its military, economic, and cultural influence felt across the continent. However, this ambition came at a cost. Louis engaged in numerous wars that drained the treasury and left a heavy tax burden on his subjects, sowing seeds of discontent that would later contribute to the French Revolution. Despite these challenges, Louis XIV's legacy endures in the grandeur of Versailles and the centralization of state power. The Sun King's reign was a double-edged sword, marked by both glory and downfall. Louis XIV's rule redefined the notion of monarchy, influencing rulers across Europe. His life was a testament to the heights of absolute power and the complexities it brings. While his reign ended in 1715, the impact of his decisions continued to shape France and the world long after his death. Legacy of a legend. Imagine ruling a kingdom for 82 years. King Sobhuza II of Swaziland holds the record as the longest-reigning monarch in history, living through World War II, the Cold War, and the dawn of the digital age. Born in 1899, Sobhuza became king at just 4 months old, ascending to the throne after his father's untimely death. His reign was a testament to resilience and adaptability, as he navigated his nation through colonial rule, independence, and modernization. In the early 20th century, Swaziland was a British protectorate, and Sobhuza's initial years as king were spent under colonial oversight. However, his keen political acumen and diplomatic skills eventually led to Swaziland's independence in 1968. Sobhuza was instrumental in crafting a unique governance system, blending traditional Swazi customs with modern political structures. His vision ensured that Swaziland retained its cultural identity while embracing the future. Sobhuza's reign was not without challenges. The sweeping changes of the 20th century brought about economic, social, and political upheavals. Yet, he deftly maneuvered through these turbulent times, fostering a sense of unity and stability within his kingdom. His ability to maintain peace and continuity for over 8 decades is a remarkable feat, often leaving historians and political analysts in awe. As technology began to transform the world, Sobhuza witnessed his kingdom's transition from isolated rural communities to a globally connected society. His leadership saw the introduction of modern infrastructure, education, and healthcare, laying the foundation for a prosperous future. King Sobhuza II's legacy is a powerful reminder of the enduring impact a single leader can have on a nation, bridging the past and the future with wisdom and foresight. The Great Wall of China is not visible from space with the naked eye, shattering one of the most persistent myths about human-made marvels. Contrary to popular belief, this colossal structure, stretching over 13,000 miles, blends too seamlessly with its surroundings to stand out to astronauts orbiting the Earth. Instead, it requires optical aid to truly appreciate its magnitude from such an incredible height. This revelation invites us to reconsider the grandeur we often attribute to human constructions. For years, the idea that the Great Wall could be seen from space elevated it to a near-mythical status, a testament to human ingenuity and might. Yet, this misconception underscores how easily myths can become accepted truths when repeated often enough. The wall's visibility, or rather, invisibility, from space doesn't diminish its historical significance or the monumental effort that went into building it. Instead, it highlights our tendency to inflate and romanticize achievements, sometimes at the expense of reality. This myth debunking is a fascinating glimpse into how perceptions of scale and significance can be skewed by stories and assumptions. It prompts us to reflect on other historical narratives that might be more fiction than fact, urging a re-evaluation of what we think we know. The truth about the Great Wall's visibility challenges us to appreciate its real-world context rather than relying on exaggerated tales. In the grand tapestry of human history, the Great Wall of China remains a remarkable feat, regardless of its visibility from orbit. This story invites us to explore the power of myths and the importance of questioning what we accept as fact. How many other historical facts are woven from similar cloth? As we delve deeper into the past, let's remember to peel back layers of fiction to uncover the reality beneath. Molasses mayhem in Paris. Imagine a train station in Paris, completely engulfed in a sweet, sticky disaster. In 1904, A forgotten shipment of molasses burst open, transforming a bustling transit hub into a syrupy spectacle. It wasn't snow or rain that bewildered the onlookers but a tidal wave of molasses cascading through the station, turning a typical day into an extraordinary mess. This was no ordinary spill, it was a full-blown avalanche of sugar. The chaos that ensued was nothing short of incredible. Stranded passengers watched in disbelief as the thick, brown liquid flowed over platforms and tracks, trapping everything in its path. Workers scrambled to contain the gooey flood, but it was a sticky situation in the truest sense. Imagine the logistical nightmare of clearing molasses from railways and platforms, a task that seemed as daunting as it was bizarre. This incident might remind you of the Great Molasses Flood that occurred in Boston years later, but Paris had its own syrupy saga long before. The unexpected burst of sweetness was a curious mishap, leaving onlookers in awe and confusion. It was a moment when the mundane collided with the surreal, where a train station became the unlikely stage for a molasses meltdown. Beyond the immediate chaos, this molasses mishap served as a sticky reminder of the unpredictable nature of industrialization. It highlighted how the smallest oversight could result in the most unimaginable consequences. In a city known for its charm and culture, the molasses avalanche of 1904 added a uniquely sweet chapter to Paris's storied history, a tale of sticky chaos that still intrigues those who stumble upon its story today. Adolf Hitler, the dictator who plunged the world into chaos, was once a struggling artist rejected twice by the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna. Imagine a world where young Adolf was accepted, the very course of history might have taken a radically different turn. His dream was to become a painter, a passion that consumed him during his formative years. Yet, the rejection letters pushed him toward a path of resentment and radicalization, setting the stage for one of history's darkest chapters. In 1907 and 1908, Hitler submitted his portfolio, hoping for acceptance into the prestigious academy. The faculty found his work lacking in human figures and deemed him unfit for their program. Heartbroken, he drifted through Vienna, living in hostels and selling postcards of his art to survive. This period of struggle only deepened his disdain for the establishment and fueled the ideologies that would later define his political career. As Hitler's aspirations were crushed, he increasingly turned to politics, channeling his frustrations into a fervent nationalist agenda. It's a chilling thought, had he been accepted, his immense drive and charisma might have been directed toward canvases instead of conquest. The butterfly effect of his rejection is a testament to how seemingly small moments can cascade into monumental consequences. The art school rejection story is a haunting reminder of the thin line between artistic ambition and historical catastrophe. It's a perfect storm of missed opportunities and misguided talent, shaping a future no one could have predicted. As we scroll through stories of what-ifs and alternate histories, this pivotal moment stands out as a poignant example of how the arts and world events are inextricably linked. Whiskey kept the Titanic's chief baker alive in icy waters for hours. When the Titanic sank, Charles Jockin found himself in the frigid Atlantic, a situation most couldn't survive for more than a few minutes. Yet, his tale is one of astonishing resilience, buoyed by an unlikely ally, alcohol. Instead of panicking, Jockin fortified himself with whiskey, a decision that would defy logic but ultimately saved his life. As the ship met its icy fate, Jockin drank to steady his nerves. With the vessel slipping beneath the waves, he leapt into the freezing water. Contrary to what you might expect, the alcohol didn't doom him. Instead, it kept him calm and insulated against the cold, his body somehow resisting the lethal embrace of hypothermia. While others succumbed quickly to the chilling temperatures, Jockin floated for hours, his mind and body unusually resilient. The alcohol might have slowed his perception of the cold, but it was his clear-headed actions that ensured his survival. He swam around, keeping his limbs moving, and eventually found a piece of debris to cling to. His remarkable endurance allowed him to remain afloat until he was rescued by a lifeboat, long after others had perished. Jockin's survival story is a testament to human tenacity and the bizarre role luck can play in life and death situations. While the whiskey helped him keep his wits about him, it was his quick thinking and refusal to give in that made him one of the very few who survived the icy ordeal. His tale remains one of the most unexpected and fascinating footnotes in the history of the Titanic disaster. Chocolate, medicine or treat? In the 1800s, doctors prescribed chocolate as medicine, transforming a sweet treat into a surprising health remedy. Imagine visiting your doctor and being handed a bar of chocolate instead of bitter pills. This wasn't just a whimsical choice, physicians believed in chocolate's potential to cure ailments like anxiety and tuberculosis. Back then, chocolate wasn't just a confection but a respected therapeutic tool. Its rich history and medicinal use dates back even further, but the 19th century saw a unique blend of science and pleasure as chocolate was touted for its health benefits. Pharmacists would craft chocolate elixirs and powders, promoting them as essential for vitality and wellness. Patients were delighted, finding solace in the idea that their favorite indulgence could also be their savior. The practice made the often dreaded visit to the doctor a little more bearable, as the bitter taste of illness was sweetened with every bite. It was a time when the lines between medicine and confection were deliciously blurred. While modern medicine has largely moved on from chocolate as a cure-all, the idea that something so enjoyable could also be beneficial remains appealing. This historic blend of flavor and health reminds us of the ever-evolving relationship between what we eat and how we heal. Today, chocolate is more of a comfort food than a cure, but its legacy as a medicinal marvel lingers on in the pages of history. Ketchup was once a medicine in the 1830s. Imagine squirting your burger condiment onto a spoon to cure your ailments. This surprising twist in culinary history began when an Ohio physician, Dr. John Cook Bennett, declared that tomatoes could treat digestive issues, rheumatism, and even bilious attacks. He transformed tomatoes into pill form, and they quickly became a sensation, blurring the line between food and pharmaceuticals. Tomatoes were only introduced to Europe in the 16th century and were initially thought to be poisonous due to their relation to the deadly nightshade plant. Yet, by the early 19th century, they found their way into medical concoctions. Dr. Bennett's ketchup pills were marketed as a wonder drug, capitalizing on the era's fascination with patent medicines, which were often claimed to cure a wide array of ailments. This quirky chapter in ketchup's history didn't last long, though. By the mid-19th century, the medicinal claims were debunked, and ketchup transformed once again into the popular condiment we know today. However, this brief stint as a cure-all highlights the strange intersections of culinary and medical history, where the boundaries of science and belief were often blurred. Such stories remind us of the ever-evolving relationship between food and medicine, reflecting how human ingenuity and marketing can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. So next time you reach for the ketchup bottle, remember its bizarre journey from medicine cabinet to dining table, a testament to the wild turns of history. Ancient Egypt's first strike. Imagine the world's first strike wasn't in the industrial age but in ancient Egypt. Over 3,000 years ago, workers building the tombs in the Valley of the Kings put down their tools and refused to work. These laborers were not just any workers, they were the skilled artisans responsible for constructing the eternal resting places of the pharaohs. Their grievances? Unpaid wages and unbearable working conditions. Despite the grandeur of the monuments they built, the workers faced delayed payments, which often came in the form of food rations like grain. Their protest marked a pivotal moment, showing that even in a society as hierarchical as ancient Egypt, the power of collective action could not be underestimated. The strike was documented on papyrus scrolls, providing historians a rare glimpse into the lives of ordinary Egyptians. Led by a man named Pain, the workers marched to the temple and demanded their dues, effectively halting the construction of the pharaoh's grand tomb. This act of defiance was extraordinary, considering the divine status of the pharaohs and the rigid social structure of the time. This ancient strike was more than just a demand for back pay, it was an assertion of human dignity and rights, long before labor unions existed. The workers' bold stand reminds us that the quest for fairness and justice transcends time, echoing across millennia to inspire movements even in today's world. AI citizenship breakthrough. In 1977, the U.S. granted citizenship to a computer system, marking an unprecedented moment in history. This wasn't just a quirky footnote, it was a significant legal acknowledgement of the rapidly advancing digital age. The computer, known as Shaky the Robot, was a groundbreaking AI developed at the Stanford Research Institute. Its creators sought to test the boundaries of legal and technological innovation, pushing society to reconsider what it means to be a citizen. Shaky wasn't your typical robot, it could perceive its environment, make decisions, and even navigate obstacles. This level of autonomy was unheard of at the time, sparking debates about the rights and responsibilities of non-human entities. The move to grant Shaky citizenship was partly symbolic, yet it highlighted how technology was beginning to blur the lines between man and machine, forcing legal systems to adapt to ever-evolving definitions of personhood. The citizenship stunt was a playful yet profound statement about the future we were hurtling towards, a world where machines could potentially hold the same rights as humans. It was a way to provoke thought and discussion about the legal, ethical, and social implications of artificial intelligence. This moment in history served as a wake-up call, encouraging society to think ahead about the rapid integration of technology into our lives. Fast forward to today, and the questions raised by Shaky's citizenship are more relevant than ever. As AI continues to evolve, we're once again faced with the challenge of defining the relationship between humans and technology. This 1977 experiment was a bold precursor to the ongoing dialogue about the place of AI in our world, reminding us that the future is closer than we think.